and how an account is created in GitHub,
Yeah.
and how we created a directory in GitHub, Git, sorry, Git.
Okay. So
Yeah.
on an overall, so we have created GitHub account and also we have installed Git on our local instance. Now we have to create the file and how to push that code. First of all, how to add that to staging and how to commit and how to push that code to central repository. So once the code is available in the central repository, how to get it back and I mean how to pull that code for adding new changes. And once that is done, how can we push back that code to the central repository again? So these things we'll discuss. These parts we have already discussed theoretically, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the part we have already discussed. So out of which we have executed up to this much part. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So now we'll see how to create files and everything. So hope everyone able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, cool. So this is our instance from Sydney. So give sudo yes. Create one folder called Sydney region, right? Okay, Sydney Git MKDAR Sydney Git. Okay, so this is the Git folder from Sydney. Enter into that folder. Okay, Sydney 3D space. Okay, yeah. Now we are at now this part.
Sydney Git.
We are at we have created this EC2 instance and we have entered into this one. Okay, this is nothing but our Sydney Git. Sydney Git. Okay, this is the folder. So in this folder, now we'll execute this git init command. Okay, git init. As of now, it is just a folder only. There is no logical partition happened. So if you type ls, did you see anything here? Just created a folder. In that folder, nothing is available. That's just an empty folder. Now let's execute git init. Okay, so by using master as the name for the initial branch, a branch will be created and staging and everything will be created now. Okay, now type ls. Can you able to see now? ls hyphen a dot git. Dot git means there is a folder created. So the folder name is git. So it is hidden. Okay, so this dot git is nothing but this one local repository. The branches where the branches are available, that is nothing but the third part of the logical partition is called this git folder. Okay, and wherever you are working in which directory now? In Sydney directory. We are in Sydney directory. Yes or no? This is our directory name. So whatever we are working now, that is this folder, this part. Okay, so this part is nothing but wherever we are executing our commands, that part is logically this one. Okay, and that dot git folder is nothing but this portion. Okay, and this portion will not be available physically, we cannot see that. Okay, but what it will do, whenever we write something, that will if I create any file now, where it will get saved now? In Sydney git folder only it will get saved now. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Whatever, if I create one file now by using cat command or some other command, by default a file will be created in this.
Yes, sir.
in the Sydney Git only. So by default, it will be saved here only. Okay. So here only a file will be saved. Okay. After that, it will be moved to, if you save this file, it will be available in this location only, but it will not be available in remaining two places. First, it has to be added here so that the snapshot will be taken. After that, it will be committed to this local repository. This local repository is nothing but this .git directory. Okay, it is a hidden one because it is very important. So by mistake, there are chances if we can delete that folder. So that is the reason it is hidden. If it is hidden, we cannot select and we cannot delete, right? Okay, so now we'll create one file. You type Git Cloud. Okay, current branch master does not have any commits yet. If you have performed any commits to your branch, you can see this with the help of Git Cloud command. Okay, now let me git status. You can check the status also. On branch master, no commits yet, nothing to commit. So if you have created some files, okay, but you haven't committed, if you want to know that status, you have to use git status command. So now let me create one file, and after that we'll execute this command so that you will get what exactly these commands are giving the information. Okay, so let me type that greater than I first. Okay, yeah, I sorry. This is the first line of code from Sydney. Okay, now cat. Sorry, I have created one file and I named it as my first file, and I have added the content of this is the first line of code from Sydney. Now type ls hyphen here. Can you see this file now? This up to .git, it is there. Now we have created file so that this file is available in this local directory only. But is this added to staging? Did I execute any extra command to add this to staging?
No, sir.
As of now, I have only created this file. Okay, and I have added one line of data. Okay, but this is not added to here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How can you can check that what are the files that are not added. Okay, so git status. Let me clear and now type git status. Now read this. No on branch master, no commits. Commits are not done. Untracked files. What is the file name which is highlighted in red color? Nothing added to commit, but untracked files present. You have created one file, that is my first file. This is not added, so it is not added to staging. So nothing is added to commit also. So nothing is added to branch master. This is the information it is giving. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how can we add that to staging?
Git add file name.
Yes. Git add. What is our file name? My first
My
file.
first file.
So if I type my first file, so this will get added. But in reality, so there will be only one file or multiple files.
Multiple files.
Multiple files. So if there are 100 files are there, so we have to execute this command for 100 times, or else we have to mention all the 100 file names separated by commas or separated by space. But that is not the best way, right? So instead
Correct.
of that, what we can do, we can simply give dot here. So dot means all the files that are present in the current directory. Okay, so all the
Okay.
files, if you want to refer all the files, then you have to use the dot. Now I have added that file to staging. So what happened here? Earlier the file is here. Now after executing the git add command, what will happen? So logically the file will be moved to staging. Okay, so the file will be moved here as well. Okay, now the file is also here. So now from here to here, we have to commit. Yes or no? So how
Yes,
can
sir.
we know that? So now again execute the command git status. See, earlier on branch master, no commits yet. Now also we haven't made any commits. But earlier commits, where the commits will happen, if you want to execute the commits, the file has to be present in the staging. The snapshot has to be taken at the stage of staging location. So, but as of now, we just created one file. This file is there, but it is untracked because it is not added to the Git staging. So that is the reason you have created one file, but that is not added. So I am considering this as an untracked file. So that is the information this is giving. Now we added to staging. So now the message has changed. See, changes to be committed. Now this needs to be committed to branch. That is the information it is giving. Now this file is tracked. This is available in staging. That is the reason it is giving the message. This needs to be committed. Okay, now we have to commit this to local repository. Whatever the branch that is there, we have to commit to that one. Okay. Yeah. What is the command? So
Commit
git
hyphen
commit.
M.
Okay, so if you type git commit, this file gets committed. But instead of that, if you want to add any custom messages, you have to add the attribute called -m. -m stands for giving the messages. You can type whatever the message you want. Okay, this message will be helpful to know additional information about your changes and the updates whatever made to that particular file. Okay, so here you can write whatever you want. This is the first time we are committing, right? So first to commit from Sydney. Yes or no? Master. This is our branch. Yes or no? Commit. First commit from Sydney. First file changed. One insertion. Create mode. This one. So my first file. So now type again git status. Now we have successfully committed our file to branching. I mean, we have successfully committed to the local repository. Up to this, any doubts?
No, sir.
No doubts, right?
No, sir.
Okay. Now type earlier when there is one file that needs to be committed. So that is the reason we have seen this kind of message. There is one file that needs to be committed. This is one is the tracked. Because of that, we are seeing it in the green color. So even before that, when it was not added to the staging, we are seeing untracked files are there. Those were not added to the staging. So please add that to first staging and then commit. That was the information we have received. Now type git status again. So now are there any untracked files?
No, sir. There is no on track to file.
So there are any files that needs to be committed to local repository?
No, sir. There was one file and it is committed.
We have created one file, we have added and we have committed. So now nothing is untracked and nothing needs to be committed. Now let's see what kind of information it will give this command. Sorry, I typed spelling mistake, guys. So git status. On branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. So your branch is clean and your entire tree is clean. Tree is clean in the sense from working directory to staging, staging to commit. This path is called as tree. So from there to here, everything is clean. You have created one file and that is added and that is committed. Now you have nothing to commit. So that is the message it is giving. Okay, so please look at these comments and this workflow once. And if you have any questions, now you can shoot me. No doubts, right?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So earlier we have given some parameters. We have configured Git with our name and email address. Why? So those things will be appended along with the commit ID. How can we see that information? So now type git space log, git space log. Uh, See, commit. This is the commit ID, and this commit ID is happened on master. Master is nothing but our branch name. By default, one branch will be created. That branch name is master. Who is the person who made that commit? Author, my name. So when did I made that change? This is my name and this is the email ID. How did this Git know about this username and email address? Yesterday we have git config hyphen global user dot name equals to Vinay. We have given these parameters, right? Username and email address. Yes or no? So from there, these details have been taken. Okay. And this is 40 characters length commit ID. Okay. And this is the message we have given at the time of committing our file. Instead of that, if I only give this one, commit this one, if I do not enter these details, what you will see? You will only see this commit ID and also the date when this commit has happened. Only these two details you will see. But who made that and whatever the messages you want to add, you can add this message here. Why these messages are helpful? So that messages will give you the information about what kind of changes you made and why you commit. So that customized messages we can give while committing that particular file. Okay. So git log will give you the information about the commit IDs, all the commit IDs. Okay. Now you want to know the file, what changes are made. As part of this commit ID, what changes are done. You want to know that information. Then you have to type the command git space show and you have to give this commit ID. You no need to give the complete ID, guys. Okay. You can just give the first five, if not possible, first 6 or 7. 8, 1, F, B, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 7. I'm giving 7. Sorry, git show. It's my git show. 8, 1, F, B, 1, 2, 3, 7. If I enter this commit ID of first 7 letters of commit ID, you can get the same information. Commit 81 this one. This is the master and author, whoever made this change, that author details, and when this commit has happened. Okay, and what is the message that was mentioned at the time of committing. Okay, and where my first file, this is the additional information, my first file, all this information, and the content, this is the first line of code from Sydney. Okay, so before commit and after commit, whatever the information is added, that information can be seen here. This is the first line of code from Sydney. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what is the next step, guys? Now so far what we have done, here also it is added now. Okay. Here also it is added now. Okay. Commit ID also created. What is the next step? We have to add this to central repository. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. You have to push, right?
So in order to push that, first what we have to do, we have to establish one link from your EC2 instance to that central repository, right?
Yes, sir.
So how can we do that? Yesterday we have seen this. Okay. See. Just copy here. Okay. See, this is the command. This needs to be done only for the first time basis. We need not to do for every time. Whenever we are going to make the commits, we know whenever we want to push our code to central repository, we no need to execute this command for every time. So this needs to be done only once. Okay.
For any file only once, or for different
For the
files?
directory only once.
Acha, for okay,
Create it,
direct.
init in Signy Git, right?
Yes, yes.
For that directory, if we do this once, that will be enough.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So here the command git remote. Remote means so from where you want to. So that particular location is called a remote. Add origin. So here this is the location where actual our repository Amulya D123 is our user ID name, username. Okay. And DevOps.repo. This is our repository. Yes or no? This is the username, guys. And this is the repository we have created yesterday. Central.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you can get the complete path. If you want to access this repository, you can execute this. This is just a URL, right? You can access this through internet. So here, instead of accessing every time with this link, you are giving an alias name called origin. Okay. So now if I say origin, what does it mean by origin? So that origin points to some location that is nothing but this one. So whatever the central repository we have created under the username of Amulya D, and this is the central repository name. If I say origin means that refers to this place. Okay. Yeah. So now it got created. Okay. Now by default, what is our branch, guys? Git branch. If you want to know what's your branch name, what is our branch name? Master only, right? So here also you have seen the same thing, na? Git status and branch master. So this is the master. Our branch by default, even though we haven't created any branches, by default there will be one branch available. That branch is nothing but master branch. So we'll change that to our customized name. Okay. So git branch space -m main. Okay, we are changing our branch name from master to main. So this is an optional step. We can have that flexibility also. By default, it will come as master, but we are not supposed to use the same name which is given by default, right? We have to change to our project needs. Now type git status. What message you are seeing? On branch main. Earlier, what was we have seen? On branch master. Now on branch main. So why? Because we have changed this. Yes or no? Got it, guys? Or any doubts? I just changed the branch name. Okay. Are you getting or not? Any confusion? If you want, again, you can change it back to master.
Sir, once again, this part.
See, guys, so this what I have created one file, I have added, and I have committed. That is done. After file is get committed, if you want to know the information about that commit ID, you have to show this commit ID. If you don't know what are the commit IDs that are available, then you have to use the log, git log. If you type git log, you can see all the commits, whatever the commits performed, all these commits you can see here. After that, if you want to know any specific information about any particular commit ID, then you have to enter Git show the commit ID, so that that particular commit ID information and what kind of changes are made as part of that commit ID, you will get it. Up to this, this is clear. After that, we have to push our code to the central repository. In order to do that, we have to establish one link from your remote location to that central repository. That is nothing but this one, git remote add origin and all. Okay, so after typing this, from here to there, one link will be created, and that central repository will be treated with the name as origin. If I say origin, means that origin is pointing to central repository, which is available in the GitHub. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Now I have done some extra thing. What is that extra thing? By default, that is not a required thing. So I just explained by just looking at this command, I came to know that okay, there is one more command is there. Okay, branch -m main. So what does it mean is by default, whenever you execute git init command, so 3 stages will be created. In the local repository, by default, there will be one branch, and that branch name is master. Okay, so instead of master, if you want to change it to main, you have to type the command git branch -m main, so that that branch will be renamed to master to main. So this is what I have explained. Other than this, I haven't shown anything extra, guys.
Okay,
If
sir.
you want to change the branch name, this is the command. Okay, now we
Okay,
want to
sir.
push our code to the central
Central
repository.
repository.
Git push is the command. After that, we have to mention some parameters. Okay, so -u, we have to mention the attribute u, and to where you want to push this code. There will be n number of repositories available, right? Only not only one repository. For each project, there can be one each unique repository can be created. Yes or no? In a company, for company, there will be one account will be there. So that will be shared with all the employees. Different people are working on different projects. So each project will have create their own directory, or everyone will put in the same directory. Let's say you have 100 files, one are audio files, video files, education related files, movies, songs, all those things are there. Will you keep all those files in a one place, or you will divide them into different folders and you will keep in separate folders?
In separate folders. Yes.
As a better organizing, so if there are mp3 files are there, so you will create a folder with songs or mp3 files, and you will keep all the mp3 related files into one folder. Let's say you have some educational related documents, PDFs are there, then you will create one separate folder with relevant name, education related, and you will keep all the files inside that folder. In the same way, in a company, there are different projects will be going on simultaneously. Parallelly, different people will be working different projects. All those people, do you think all the people are going to use the same this repository, DevOps repository? If people
No,
who are
sir.
DevOps, they will be using a DevOps repository. If someone is working in some other technology, they will create their own central repository and they will access that only. Yes or no? In the same way, here we have to mention to which repository you want to move. Here, what is the repository we have? Origin. Yes or no? Origin. And in the project, there are submodules available now. In one project, there are multiple ideas, multiple tasks, multiple modules are there. So each module will be represented to one branch. This is what we have discussed theoretically. There will be one branch. In one branch, will have one tree will have so many branches, right? Yes or no? If you take your project as a tree, that tree should have different modules. Each module is called as a branch. Here we have only one branch. What is that branch? Come on, guys. We have only one branch that I have changed now. Main. So here, push the code to origin is the central repository, and in the origin, add that to main branch. So username. What is the username? We have to enter the username and password, guys. Okay. If other than that, if that username is, if we don't have that security, then everyone who knows our central repository, they can make the changes, right? Yes or no? Amulya D123. This is the username. Next, password. What is the password, Amulya?
Yes, sir.
What's your password? See, yesterday I have pinged one password, right?
I don't know, sir. You have.
Okay. Okay, I
You
forget
have
your.
created the password. I don't know the password.
Okay. What is your email ID? Amulya
Amulya Das. Amulya
D123.
AM. No, that's a username.
Okay. What?
Username of GitHub. Amulya Dasyam. AMULYA DASYAM. YAM. Yes.
Password is also saved. I forgot your password. We have to enter the username and password. Let me reset. Okay.
Sir, take that gmail.com, sir, once. Only Amulya, the first part, Amulya, the,
Amulya Dasyam.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Amulya Dasyam is the password. Yesterday
Okay.
you.
Enter my Amulya DASYAM. Correct. Yes. No, that field. Okay, so I will work on it tomorrow and I will show it again. Okay, so I will create my own account and I will be having a complete idea about it, right? So I will do that. So now once you execute this command, guys, so instead of getting these fatal errors, what will happen is a file will be available here, guys. This is our directory, right? Okay, so inside this one file will be available. So as of now, no results matched. Okay, sorry. So
Sir,
here
Amulya D123 password, sir. Once.
it is not accepting my. Application failed. Okay. So we don't waste our time. So we'll see it. Okay. So
Okay.
once this is done, you will see one file here, right? Okay. So here in code section, you will see one file here. Okay. So this window will get disappears, and what you will see is you will see one file here with whatever the file we have created. That file will be available here. Okay. If you double click on it, you can see the content inside that file. Okay. And after that, so now the file is available in that location, right?
Sir.
It's very simple, guys. So don't need to worry. So after executing this command, what will happen? Simple. A file will be available here only. The same file will be available in our local machine, whatever the file is there. The same file will be available here also with that name. If you double click on that file, you can open that file and you can see the content also. And also you will see the information about whatever with the help of Git show. Okay, so whatever the information you have seen with this show 8.1. Whatever the information you are seeing along with Git show, I mean, this is the change made, and this is the directory, and this is the person made. So this information you can see here as well. In this website also, you can see the same information. So now what does it mean? After we execute this push command, so whatever the code is there in our local repository, that has been copied to central repository. Now, any user from any location, if they want to start that file, what they have to do? They have to take that code from this location. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in that case, what they have to do?
They have to pull.
You can think logically, guys. So now the code is here. Okay, now the code is here. Here now code is there. This is the another person. This person wants the code from here to here. He don't want to create his own code here. If he wants to create his own code, what he has to do? He has to create one file simply with cat command or va command. He can create that file so that the file will get created. If he wants to move this from here to here, he has to use the add command. From here to here, he has to use the commit command. So, but here he wants to take the code from here. He wants to copy from here. How can he copy from here? First of all, he has to establish one link, right? After we are done with our work. What we did, if we want to move from here to here, first we need to establish one link. So that is the reason we have executed the command git-remote that origin and the link that is given. So once executed that command, one link is created. After that, I have executed the push command. Now here also, from this path, the same command needs to be executed here also in order to establish link from this remote to this one. Yes or no? Without link, how can you pull that code? Got it or not? Hello? Why so confusion, guys? So it's very
Yes,
simple
sir.
now. So very simple. Here we are done with our work. Once our work is completed, we want to put that code into the central repository. How can I directly put that code into the central repository? You have a pen drive and you have a laptop. In your pen drive, some data is there. In your laptop, some data is there. You are done your work, and in your laptop, you have created one files, and you have to keep that information in one pen drive. How can you put that into the pen drive directly? If that pen drive is in your hand, can you able to move the files from laptop to your
Yes, sir. We have to connect pen drive to the laptop.
without any logical connection? Can if you say someone says like, okay, there are Wi-Fi enabled laptops, wireless pen drives are there, sir. Wireless pen drives can be there, but there should be a one logical connection that has to be connected to internet, right?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you have to plug in that pen drive into your laptop. Then only you can transfer the files. That is called as the link. Here also, once our work is done, if you consider this repository as a pen drive, you have to connect this to this one. Yes or no? That connection is happening with the help of executing creating that link. In the same way, this is another laptop which is there in London region, but your file is there in central repository. If you want to access that, you have to create one link, right?
Yes, sir.
Even if you don't create the link also, that is fine. How can you do that? Your link is nothing. What? Every time whenever I want to pull that code, I have to mention this complete information. Na? Git push -u. Instead of origin, I have to give the complete path. HTTP path is there, right? That link, hyperlink is there, right? I have to give the complete link from where you want to pull that code. You have to give the location of that central repository. So instead of giving the complete URL, I am just giving the shortcut. Okay. Sir, I don't want to create any link by executing that extra command. So that is also fine. What you have to do? Git push pull. Instead of push, you have to call pull. Git pull -u. Here you have to mention this with this link, HTTPS, this link. Okay. So after, if you give this and pull, and if you execute that command, what will happen? A file will be available here, here, here. Here one file will be there, and here will be there, and the same copy here will be there, because that you are pulling from here. Once you pull this from central repository to your Git directory, you no need to, you don't think like, okay, whenever I pull this, okay, I pull this code so that it will be only available here. No, that assumption is wrong. If you pull this code from here to here, that means you are pulling that complete branch. Yes or no? So
Yes,
that
sir.
means by default, if you pull something, by default, that will be available in staging and in local branch also. Okay. Now that is available with this content. Whatever the data is there, with that content, a file will be available. Once the pull operation is done, that will be available with all these things. Here, here, and here. Okay. Now you have the file. Now you can start your work. How can you start your work? You have to open this file with the cat command or VA editor, and you can add whatever you want. Once that is done, now if you type Git status, what it will show, guys?
It shows
So
commit.
as of now, we haven't pulled it. So, okay, this is, let's assume this is our London. Okay. This is our London region. Okay. Now I have pulled the code and which is available in that location. If I type Git to show, what it will show? Okay. This is one is available. On branch means this one, nothing to commit, working tree. If you execute the command in the London region also, you have just to pull that request and that is available in all the places. So you no need to commit anything, right? When you need to commit that code, if you make any changes to that file, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now let me make some changes. VA space. This is the second line. Oh, sorry, the window got closed. This is the second line. Okay, so now we have added 2 lines of code here. Now type git status. Now what it will show, guys? Any guesses?
Commits has to.
Untracked changes, because we haven't added this change to staging. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It will come in red. Okay, so this is the file which is having some changes. This is not yet committed. So if we add this git add dot, then it will get added to that one. Yes or no?
So again, we have to use the command git add also, sir.
Yeah, again, if you, the same thing happens. So it will start once you have one file that has to be added to staging and that has to be committed. Once the commit is done, you have to push that code. Your work is done. If you want to start working on the changes, then what you have to do, you have to get that code, right? From where you will get the code? From the central repository, you will get the code. Okay. In order to get the code back, you have to use the pull command. Okay. Once you pull the command, now you have that file in your machine. Then you can do whatever you want to work. Okay. Once your work is done, what is the again? It is the repetitive steps only, right? So your work is done. What do you have to do once the work is done?
Again, we have to push it to
You have to push back to the central repository. So
central
it's very
repository.
simple, guys. So you have gold in your home. Okay. So you have a function. If you want to go to function, definitely you will wear some gold. Okay, that will be stored very securely at your locker. Yes or no? What you will do? You will go, you will open the locker, and you will get those gold ornaments back, and you will wear. You will go to function. Once done, what you will do again? You will come back, and again you will open, and you will put it in the locker back, and you will close, and you will lock, and come down. Whenever again some new function, the operation is same or not?
Yes, sir.
In the same way, here also, if you want to work on something, where you will get that code? You are not the one who are going to start the project from the scratch, right? The project is already started. Okay, if you are the one who are going to start, then what you will do? You will only start and you will write from the scratch. If not, what you will do? The project is already started and people have already started working on it. You have to know the status and you have to know what code they have written and what are the different files are there. All those things you want to know. Where those things are available, that is nothing but the central repository. Okay. If you want to get something from central repository, you have to pull that. You have to, if you are pulling means you are copying and pasting in your local machine, guys. That's it. Once that is done, you can make your own modifications. Once your modifications are done, what you have to do? Again, you have to put that version into central repository or not, because someone else is going to use that one, right?
Sir, so that previous file, will it stay or will it get updated and have some another file?
It will get updated. By default, you will see only one file, but
Okay.
you can take what, let's say, if this operation has continued for 100 times,
Okay.
okay, that means you cannot see 100 files over there. That is not an incremental storage. You will not see 100 separate files, but you can get the version whatever you want. Okay, so you want to have a file with only up to 2 version of changes. not all the changes. Then how can we do
Okay.
that? With the help of this commit ID, we can go back to the central repository and we can get that particular file. You can get all the versions, but 100, you cannot see 100 versions over there. But you can see as part of first, if in the first version you will see only one line, in the second version you will see two lines, in the third version you will see only three lines. Like this, in the 100th version you will see only 100 lines. But you want to get the 65th version. What does it mean? That should have only 65 lines of code, na? Are you
Yes, sir.
getting or not?
Yes, sir.
With the help of commit ID in the central repository, you will get that version. So up to 65th version, how many lines of code is there? Only that file you will get. That is nothing but
Okay, sir.
logically, every time a copy will be saved. Ideally, copy will not be saved every time, but you can get the changes. Same as you can get that copy, but the copy physically is not available, but you can get the copy of that version only. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, tomorrow I will show you this password thing and we'll complete the Git session tomorrow. So remaining some more cloning and some other topics are there that I will introduce whenever it is required.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah. Take care, guys.
Thank you, sir.